Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to YOYT Reviews Reptilian Edition. What makes it Reptilian Edition, you may ask? Well, because the two films we'll be looking at center around reptilian main characters. Those movies are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem and Leo. So naturally, since I listed Leo second, I'll be talking about Leo first. So to start off, I can finally say I did it! I watched the funny Adam Sandler lizard movie. Hooray! Give me a fucking medal. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I don't want this segment to be too long, because I really do not have that much to say about this movie, as much as I want to say about the next movie, which we will get to. But first, I want to say that when I posted a specific frame of the movie on my community tab, I heard a lot of you guys saying that this movie was actually genuinely really good. And I'm gonna be real with you guys, I don't see it. So the movie is about this old ass iguana named Leo who's on his last life, and since he's been living in the school for practically his entire life, ever since he was fucking conceived, he wants to get out in his last year of living and see the world for himself. And his best friend in this movie is a turtle voiced by Bill Burr named Squirtle, which is the absolute cutest and funniest shit ever. And honestly, the best parts of this movie are just when Leo and Burr are talking to each other, because their communication is just so good. And honestly, it got a laugh out of me. I'm not gonna lie, this isn't the least funny movie I've ever watched. Trust me, there are some unfunny fucking jokes, but some of it is genuinely not bad. And as I said, the stuff with Leo and Squirtle ain't too shabby. The weirdest thing about this movie is that it's apparently a musical parody film. Like, the weirdest thing about this film is that it consists of these moments where it looks like they're about to break into song, but then it's cut off after like 30 seconds, like, yeah, we're not doing this, we're not gonna be an actual musical. And it'd be funny if they did this a couple of times, but no, they just constantly are doing this throughout the film, where a character's about to sing something, and then it's just instantly like cut off by talking and saying that we shouldn't be doing this and whatnot. The only time it was kind of funny is with this one kid whose dad has like this huge musical number with all these weird clock things, and that's kind of elaborate, and I don't know, I find that part funny because that's all happening in the background while Leo's talking to the kid, which is an aspect of the movie I should get to. So basically, when Leo's trying to escape, he constantly is brought home by these children who are in his classroom, and one of the weird things is that he's able to talk to them, and they understand what he's saying, and that's just a thing, that animals talk, they don't communicate in their own way. I was convinced that that was the way it was, that animals just communicate in their own language to one another. I didn't think that humans could hear them. So basically, he tries to escape every single time, but he eventually ends up coming back because the children, they have like their own issues that they're dealing with. So, like through weird songs and just through talking itself, he starts giving them life lessons, and it's kind of cute, honestly. Like, this isn't a movie I can say I hate. It is a Adam Sandler movie through and through, from the comedy to the writing to everything, but it's definitely wholesome. It is definitely not the worst thing ever. And it will all lead up to, and I'm not going to spoil what happens, but eventually there are events that happen that lead up to this frame. If you don't want to watch the movie for any other reason, watch it to find out how this frame happens. Okay? Okay. So while this movie isn't exactly good per se, it's absolutely harmless, and it's decent if you want to watch it with your family or little kids or cousins or siblings or whatnot. I had a decent enough time with it when I watched it on Christmas Eve, because there was literally nothing else to watch when I was at my cousin's place, and they just so happened to have Netflix, which I don't have because yar. And yeah, it's alright. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10, nothing special. It's about what I expected. It is nowhere near as much as it was hyped up to be. But, is it better than Wish? I wouldn't be able to tell you, because I am not going to watch that shit in theaters, and apparently it doesn't come out until February on digital. So, yeah, I'm gonna be waiting for now, but I'd like to imagine a world where an Adam Sandler movie outdoes Disney's, sort of big movie of the year. So, I'll give you my thoughts when I watch that. I'll probably post it first on Letterboxd, and who knows, maybe I'll do a review on it. Only time will tell. Alright, now for the moment you've all been waiting for, and I think you guys are gonna be pretty pissed at me, because I know that this movie has a lot of fans, and a lot of people that really like it, so I'm just gonna go out on a knee and say it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is the most overrated thing since Little Caesars. Speaking of which, did you guys know that in Canada, the Little Caesars man isn't allowed to say pizza pizza in Canadian commercials because we already have a restaurant called Pizza Pizza here? What do you mean you don't care? What do you mean I'm stalling for time for a movie I literally said I wanted to talk about? Shut the fuck up, you're not my mom. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, the real reason why I'm stalling for time is because I know you guys are gonna be so upset at me for me not being the biggest fan of this movie, but I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. This did not click for me at all. Like, I just don't know what it was, but it just didn't work. But you know what? To get on your good lists, I will admit the animation is absolutely stunning. It stands to be different enough when compared to Spider-Verse and Puss in Boots, which it's really like cool way of having stylized animation where it's sort of like pencil drawn. It's like comic book style. The movie looks really good. There are occasionally good moments that are scattered throughout the film. There are a lot of wholesome moments with the turtles. The action, for the most part, is really good. And there are times when the comedy hits. Even though it's not every time, when it does hit, it is really funny. And also, I'd just like to mention, there is genuine swearing in this movie. And it's a trend I'm starting to notice with a lot of these kids films, is that we're no longer in the era where kids films are afraid to use swear words. We're back to the Shrek era, where they're able to use it, no filters, no fear, no nothing. They said, screw the Karens that are complaining about this shit, we're going swearing all the way. And it's not like the swearing is purposeless, no. The swearing is used to just sort of like solidify these villains as fucking badass. And honestly, a lot of these villain characters are really cool in this movie, I'm not gonna lie. But honestly now, I gotta get into the negatives about this movie and why I genuinely think this is incredibly overrated. So, like, to be completely fair, I genuinely didn't think the writing was that good. This iteration of the Turtles as characters wasn't horrible, they were genuinely likable enough, but man, they had cringe-worthy moments all throughout the movie. For like some unexplained reason, the film never tells us why, this film has the urge to reference things every couple of seconds. They reference Stewie, they reference Hey Arnold. Okay, when they reference like Nickelodeon stuff, it makes sense. But they reference so many different types of characters and media. There's no specific reason as to why they're doing this kind of stuff. And there's one absolutely cringeworthy moment where they're singing BTS very poorly. And I don't know, man, it just doesn't click for me. They also use a lot of, hip, trendy dialogue like sus and Riz and stuff like that. And the main argument I hear for why this is fine is because this is what teenagers act like. This is how they sound. This is how they talk to one another. And this is 100%. Most of the reasons why I'm not the biggest fan of this movie can simply be chalked down to I didn't relate to this. I do not relate to referencing characters 24/7. I do not relate to saying words like Riz or sus or whatnot. That's not my dialogue catalog, I don't tend to use it around friends. My friends don't tend to talk to me like that. So as a teenager, as someone who's literally 17, I just personally didn't get it. Leo has it too, don't call me a hypocrite, but honestly, it's less frequent in that movie when compared to TMNT. Like, it did genuinely get to a point where I was starting to ask myself, is Paramount going to be okay? Are they not going to be sued by the companies that own all these characters that they're mindlessly referencing? Like, the main reason why they win the final battle is because they get the help of an anime that they reference, and I'm not going to spoil what anime it was, but honestly, it could be cool, but it comes off in such an unsubtle way that I just didn't find it enjoyable. And it's from an anime I haven't watched, but I really need to get watching it, because I've heard all the positive things about it in the world, and honestly, this movie did kind of make me want to check it out even more, even though I wasn't a fan of the reference itself. Another laughably bad part, I feel, was April's whole subplot, where she has to overcome her fear of talking on live television, and this is because she, basically threw up the last time she did it, and I will admit, this movie is the best looking throw up I've ever looked. It looks more like Nickelodeon slime and less like throw up. But the thing that annoys me is how it became a TikTok meme, and it's just that fucking how do you do fellow kids humor where it tries to just shove TikTok and memes and audios down your face, and it's not funny. It just screams out of touch. And I will not spoil what the specific arc is, but the Turtles seem to have gone through a character arc near the end of the movie, and then it just kind of throws it out into the garbage for no specific reason. Like, I can understand that they wanted a happy ending, but there's no reason why you just have to throw that entire, like, sort of character progression down the garbage. As for the characters themselves, the turtles, as I said, are good. You know, Splinter is really adorable, and he has this running gag that isn't the worst, but oh my god, it runs for way too long, even though it ends up being proven right in the end. April isn't bad either, and the villain characters are fucking awesome. Like, that is genuinely something that they get right, is that the villains here are amazing, and all of them are on point. Especially Mondo Gecko. I'm not gonna lie, he is just kind of a reskin of Mikey, but that's not really a bad thing because he's still epic, and Paul Rudd does an amazing job voicing him. But other than that, yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest, this may have been like one of the most overrated, disappointing films of the year for me. It's not bad, it's far from bad. It has good intentions, and I'm happy that a lot of people connected with it, but even when I was in theaters, I was just rolling my eyes the entire time while watching this. I completely respect everyone who likes this movie. I like it too, technically, even though I don't think it's amazing. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. I genuinely think the Mario movie was better than this, but that also could be because of bias, because I love Mario more than anything. But yeah, this just wasn't for me, and maybe if I rewatch it a couple more times, maybe I'll understand why people like it so much. But with that, I'll bring an end to YOYT Reviews Reptilian Edition. Leave a comment down below on what you thought of these two movies, and leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.